listening to Dipset.
We're find the clean versions.
No.
I do play clean versions when the boys are in the car. I have to. It pains me, but I do. Like
y'all both have older kids, though. My oldest is 6. And she knows she can recognize bad words, but at the same time, she's not recognizing cum.
Yeah, that's
true. She's recognizing like the words her mom's saying, and shit.
Yeah, so I feel that.
It's like, all right,
you know, Chanel. The words she said.
She's got a potty mouth. Yeah.
So I'm not so worried about that, but as they do get older, yes, I'm gonna have to either, basically just listen to radio. Or have edited versions.
No, we do. I have to do edited. Thankfully for me, Taylor doesn't really like too many of the female rappers, so I don't have to like. Where she doesn't like Meg, she doesn't like Cardi. Yeah. She liked Ice Spice a little bit because that's a little kids walked around liking it, but Ice Spice keeps saying like poop stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like so. Whatever. I think that's why the kids liked it because she said you're not even a fart and poop and all that. But she don't listen to Nicki. She don't listen to none of that. She's more. Her female, like, she loves Billie Eilish. She loves, like, so it's that stuff I'm okay with. But the second I hear her start saying, like, oh, or WAP, then we got to have a serious conversation.
Shoot. I only play R&B with a little man in the car. Like, as soon as, like, I pick him up or whatever, if I'm listening to Nas or whoever, some rap, I'm like, let me switch the Pandora to a little R&B track, and that's all he hears when he's in the car with me.
Yeah. It's straight, but sometimes it'll be awkward. Like, I'll be listening to Miguel, and then...
Yeah,
get down and you're like,
I'm kind of the opposite. I don't play R&B around them. I can't.
It's awkward.
Yeah,
mostly the R&B ain't just
especially today.
It's like
I'm playing old school stuff, mostly like 90s R&B. I'm playing like some Alicia, or I'm playing some Guapale, or I'm playing like some Jasmine Thomason. So I play some.
But what's the content about? Is it just about rainbows and butterflies? Or?
For the most part, it's about love. It's little innuendos here and there.
Yeah.
But as soon as I hear something that's too little adult, I'm like, all right, let me skip that track real quick.
How old is he?
11, or he'll be 12 in a month or 2 months. Yeah.
I kind of you try your best to like censor, but at some point it's like again I keep reverting back to me. Like by the time I was 11, I knew every No Limit, every this, every that, back and forth, front to back. It's like, what are you gonna do? You know what I'm saying? Like you just gotta teach responsibility, and I think for the most part they're responsible. Of course, when they're around the little buddies and friends, I'm sure they curse.
Exactly.
We did, you know what I'm saying? So they don't say it in the house, they don't say it around us, or when we're out and about. I'm not really gonna argue too much.
Yeah, they're gonna do it with their friends. I just have to check him if he's gets out of line in person.
I still won't play like the hardcore stuff around them, but like you said, if I'm in the car listening to Travis Scott, something's gonna fly off. Some Don Toliver, something's gonna fly, but whatever.
I was trying to get the kids when I'm driving. I try to turn on the radio to like the jazz station forever and a day before I discovered we even had one.
Yeah.
But that's like sleepy music. So if I want to get them to sleep, then I can turn on. But otherwise, they're like, "This is boring. This starts with this." And it's like, all right, then, like, throwing some ratchet shit.
Yeah. No, I go on try like K-Tronada, like something like with bounce to it. You know what I'm saying? Like they're starting to get into that a lot more. So that's like my happy medium. It's like, all right, they want something that will keep them up. Throwing some K-Tronada, some like Tame Impala, something like that. You know what I'm saying? Where it's like it's fire. It's not really too much content in there. It's just a good music. I'm like, all right, that works.
All right.
Nice.
All right.
So
What we got?
So the No Limit thing. If you're gonna watch Verzuz, you gotta sneak around to watch it. Then when you talking about, it ain't like that's gonna be edited.
No, it's being put on. They know what's up.
I've only watched maybe like less than 5 verses entirely. Like,
Really?
Overall.
Like on demand or live?
I think I watched one live, and I think that was the and that made me turn me off because I want to see the Dipset versus the Locks.
That was iconic.
That's one.
Yeah, no, but it took so fucking long.
Well, they made it an event.
That's true.
I was so annoyed with that, right? Yeah. And me, I'm more of a Dipset dude. I didn't even care for Jada Pinkett, Styles P. I didn't like any of them. Although I love that song.
Whoa! What?
And yes,
Am I just hearing?
Hold on. I respect Jada Pinkett. I know that he can rap. But I didn't like the Locks. I did not like them. This is when I was on my LA, New York.
Wow.
So
you like Dipset though?
Yeah. Well, yes.
So then, what about now?
Right? Do I like the Locks now?
Today, yeah.
No, I still don't like them now. but I do like Jada Kiss now. I do like that. I will say that.
Okay.
You know,
I think I sensed that when he said that. When you agree, he agreed with you that Swiss Beats is kind of overrated. So I was like, okay, well, the Locks, Swiss Beats.
I still stand on that. But the fact that you don't like the Locks, though, I didn't know that. But
nah, I forget what song they have. They had something else like that. Like, I mean, they're like just a step up from Junior Mafia, which is also trash.
ooh,
You know, but again,
Talking about the black cards.
we'll talk about that. But again, I do give him props. It's just like I don't give a shit. I don't like LeBron James whatsoever.
Mm-hmm.
But I recognize that he is one of the top, I'll say top 10 players in the NBA. I'm going to say top 5, top 3. But anyways, same thing with the Locks. Or not the Locks, but specifically Jadakiss.
Wait, are you saying that you like Jadakiss, you respect Jadakiss, but Styles P, Chic Luch, I can give it.
Styles P, he had that one song that was dope, and then what else? And
Are you talking about?
I Get High.
I Get High? Yeah, that's one of them.
Well, that's his only good commercial record.
Yeah.
Like, number one, he's got multiple good
He's got
records.
a lot of. He's got albums.
Yeah, he's got albums. And
I don't
number
have
two,
time to listen
like
to him.
classic verses on classic songs that wasn't necessarily, I mean, All About the Benjamins and all types of other joints. Wow.
Anyways,
You're in LA, dude, I get it.
like, I got, it was that verses that was like, it just turned me off or whatever. They had the one with Snoop Dogg versus somebody, I want to say, in someone's studio or whatever. I don't know, there's been like just a handful, and none of them have been like worthwhile where I'm like, oh, I definitely want to see this. And the same thing with Time with No Limit. You guys said yourself already, was like, oh yeah, Cash Money beats it out. Like,
Cash Money's gotta be, but it'll still be enjoyable.
So Fab and Jada, you missed. So
Fab and Jada,
E42 short. E42 short, you missed.
Bro,
I did see E42 short.
Bobby Brown and Keith Sweat, that one was iconic.
I didn't see that, which also I wasn't a big Keith Sweat.
Mario and Omarion, that was a moment, bro.
I'm about to smack.
That was a moment.
Omarion
Yeah.
and Mario.
First of all, Mario's fire. We're not gonna do that. Omarion is a cornball. Yeah.
That's dope.
No, Omarion's a cornball.
Mario, he's like kind of a cornball.
But it was more so entertainment because even before that, you know who opened? It was Jeremiah, Ray J, and Sammy. And it sounded horrible. Omarion came out and he was like with his brother eating watermelon, trying to like appease the women. Mario was clowning him. Tank came out to try to help Omarion. It was just entertaining. You know what I'm saying? That wasn't even about like a versus at one point. It was actual good content that kept us entertained.
That reminds me, gives me the impression that I'd watch it, think of this same exact clip, and it was a clip of Genuine. Maybe like in the last 2 years or whatever. And he was doing some concerts, some performance, whatever.
Yeah.
Obviously performed Pony. And so he's trying to do the Genuine stuff where he's like,
And he's old as hell, yeah.
With his belly, like, nah, that's goofy. I don't want to see that. Like,
It's entertainment. That's what it's for.
entertainment is me flashing back to the old and listening, watching the old videos and seeing like,
Look what's happening now. Even
back
with this versus tonight, everyone's old as hell. It's gonna be a fat Master P. It's trying to make him say
Same thing. They had Cisco with his like platinum silver hair or whatever, and he's trying like, nah, dude.
It's gonna be entertaining because it's gonna be a bunch of old cats like bringing back some fire, but like Juvenile's mad old. You know what I'm saying? Baby is 70 something probably. Like it's gonna look crazy. It's gonna be entertaining though.
I mean, they have.
I mean, they're gonna have some guest features. I don't know who they could be, but there's gonna be some people that
I don't know
the woodwork.
Who's gonna be guest features for No Limit? Like
Snoop, probably.
I mean, if you count that as probably.
I don't know. He's gonna be a guest because he was an actual artist. So he's gonna
drop one out.
and some of his top hits are from No
They're
Limit.
not gonna play like Last Meal, Laylo, or something, and be like, "This is the No Limit
So of
song."
course, we're gonna play Laylo. Laylo is the top like one of his.
I figured that a Snoop track doesn't sound like a No Limit track.
It doesn't, but it was in that No Limit area. It's got
Yeah.
Master P on it. They're playing Laylo for sure. They're absolutely playing Laylo.
I mean, that was one of my favorite albums of his.
Everybody.
With Wrong Idea.
Yeah.
They're going to be sold on
Cocaine.
Yeah,
Bro,
that was my first CD that I actually paid for. My first rap CD that I paid for with my money. They gave us to be sold, not to be told.
Crazy.
Yeah,
It's flashy.
Mine was Hammer.
Yeah.
I remember it, and it wasn't MC Hammer, it was Hammer, because it's the one you tried to get hard.
Oh, the funky head on her, that one?
Exactly, yeah. And I didn't realize it at the time because again, I didn't have that like little adult mind at like 11 or whatever. But I remember playing as like maybe track 7 or 8 or Pumps and Rumps.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is a dope song. And like, didn't see the music video until like years, I mean,
That
decades
brother
later.
with the thong with the hammer out and
And I
sing.
was like, when I saw that, I was like, yeah, I wanted to so do that for like Halloween, just be like hammered, but I was like, yeah, no, I'm not pulling that shit.
It's crazy.
You know what's funny? My first CD was actually a single, and it was Make 'Em Say
Was it really?
That's the single
okay.
with the explicit version, the clean version, the instrumental, and I played that thing to death.
I don't know what my first CD
And
was.
just the who this is.
You don't know?
My first tape was, my first tape that I bought was totally crossed out. The crisscross.
Crisscross.
That was my first tape.
Crazy,
Well, that's
crazy,
why I'm
crazy to
asking
say
you.
that. That's the CD or a cassette my parents did buy me and my brothers.
Really?
Yeah, we were buying a whole bunch of like, and it's funny too because like we got it's like a Jehovah's Witness lady that like lived in the neighborhood, and she'd like watch all the kids. That's her stay-at-home babysitter job, right? White lady or whatever. And I remember like having that cassette tape, and they let us play it. And for all these other little white kids and whatnot, one little Mexican kid and me and my brother black kids, and we're listening to Totally Crossed Out, Jump.
Yep.
You know, and that's where I'm like, the first time I found out about the N-bomb, because like, the word was being said, and I'm thinking like,
Yeah.
this is a word, like, he didn't say damn or ass. So, you know, like, I'm thinking it's like nothing or whatever, but apparently that was bad, but they let us play it.
That's fire. Yeah,
So, yeah,
that was
so
my first.
that's something my parents did.
That was my first tape. CD, I don't remember because I was buying cassette tapes. Like,
That's where I'm like, this Master P thing is definitely a big moment. However, when I finally got to listen to Ghetto D as a whole, I was like, you know what?
Not so.
Not all that.
oh, what?
I was a little disappointed.
It's one of the best.
That's one of his best albums, but that's why I realized I don't really like Master P as an artist.
Every single song on there is fire.
Master P definitely. He
I don't know if you've gone back to it recently, but it definitely sounds dated. It's definitely.
Well, I'm not.
I can't put together 20 Master P tracks that I like. Now,
I could. Between Ghetto Dope and Master P The Last Dawn, the I'm About It, the Ice Cream soundtrack, the Ice Cream Man sound, I can put 20 tracks. I could. And if you're including like some like 4 Boy stuff, I can do 20 tracks. Now, are you saying strictly Master P tracks or songs feature Master P? Because every No Limit song that came out featured Master P.
Now I'm thinking like from Master P's albums.
Oh, I could. 20, yeah.
And I think he only has like 5 or 6 albums.
No, he's got more than that.
But for the ones I looked at, I was like, yeah. I bought the Last Dawn, and I was disappointed.
What?
Disappointed. Because it was a double disc.
there. Yeah, I could do it. I could come up with 20. I could come up with 20.
That was the narrative though. Like I remember everyone had their CDs, you know, I had all like iced out names and everything, and then they had the color like trim on the CD.
Facts. No, it's gonna be a dope versus. I'm excited to see it just because it's gonna take us back. You know what I'm saying? It's gonna be a vibe. So I'm excited. Cash Money's about to tear that ass up though. But I'm still excited to see it.
That's what's up.
Yep. All right, here's some questions for y'all.
All right.
You have to pick a either or for these, all right?
Got it.
All right. Whose side are we on? We'll start crazy. Did you guys all see him?
Nah.
I refuse to watch it.
You heard the controversy with it. Some
Yeah.
people like it. Some people were like, it's a little deep.
Yeah.
So, because people are saying this might be another miss-ish for Jordan Peele, who's producing, not necessarily written and directed and all that stuff, but some people are saying that he's a visionary, he's a genius. Others are like, maybe it's a little too early on that. So, do you guys think Jordan Peele's a visionary or not?
No, I don't think so. I think he.
Is he still riding off of Get Out?
Yeah, I was just gonna say. I think he did amazing with Get Out. I think he like did so well. He was like, oh damn, like let me hurry up and start trying to like produce stuff at a high clip. And every single thing, in my opinion, since Get Out has been a miss. Candyman was a miss. Nope was a miss. Us was a miss. I haven't watched him. Literally, I haven't liked one project from him since Get Out, and I watched them all because I'm like, oh, let me go. The promotion he does, fire. I thought Us was gonna be
With the music and
I thought Us was gonna be phenomenal. Didn't like it. I thought Nope was gonna be dope because it's like something different. Didn't like it. Candyman is a classic. I'm like, oh, he's gonna redo it. It's about to be crazy. Candyman was garbage. So to me, no, I don't think he's a visionary. I think.
What did you watch any of the Twilight Zone?
I did not.
I watched some of those, but it didn't keep my attention.
It didn't. No, okay, let me take that back. Vision. I mean, obviously he has visions, right? And clearly, like he has some type of point he's trying to make, and he is a creative in that regard. I think he misses his mark. And I personally don't like what he's come out with. I know some people do. Shout out to them. To me, it doesn't make sense. I think it's whack. It's corny. I don't know. He needs to go back to the drawing board and try again.
Yeah, almost the same. Like, I think he's talented. I think he's dope. But I think he got to the point where everybody, after the first one, everybody was bumping him up. And he's like, all right, cool. Let me go ahead and put this one out. I think he just putting stuff out too much. You know how they say, throwing the ball, see what sticks. And he just throwing stuff out there just to throw stuff out there and trying to keep his name relevant. But like I said, it's different. It's creative. It's just not the content I would like. That's the only part. Yeah. You know, it's like, I'm not going to knock him. I like, hey, you're doing your thing. You're doing something creative. You're doing something that other people are not doing, which is dope. Maybe it's just, you know, like they say, it's, you're ahead of your time. You know, people appreciate it in a decade, you know.
If it's not the content you don't like, is that because it's horror? Or is that because it's not black enough? Or what is the...
/horror/ just trying to be too different. I just like, you know, what was dope, you know, what is the Sinner? Yeah, Sinners was dope. You know, that was dope as heck. You know, it was different. It was, you know, a vampire movie, but it was different because they had the music, they had the spiritual, they had a new spin on it, but it wasn't trying too hard to be different, trying to be too unique.
I think it was. So like, I don't mind the content he's trying to produce because it's in that same vein. Sinners to me is similar to what he tried to do with Us in a sense. Like, it is different. With Us, like, there were a duality with characters, right? There was like the ones on the opposite side, and then there's the regular ones. Same with Sinners. Like, you had the brothers that were literally different, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. And when one got bit, there was that duality between the characters. So I think the content is similar. It's just he can't execute it properly. You know what I'm saying? So like, I'm here for the content. I like what he's trying to do. It's just the execution is trash.
Yeah, I think it just, like I said, little trying to hard. I think, like I said, Ryan just nailed it. Like, it was deep, but it wasn't too deep where it went to the point where like, you knew. Like, even when you learn more about it, like, you knew this brother was with the Irish gang, you know, this brother was with the Italian gang, you know, and they even did it with the hats, you know, they wore the different hats because that's those two gangs wore those similar hats and stuff when you learn more about it. I was like, oh, that's dope. The little subtleties, what made it doper. And then the even the vest they rocked, even the color, like I only wore the red and I only wore the blue, you know. And then, like I said, when they got bit and at the end, it's like, you know, my brother told me to keep you alive, so I got you, you know. And if you want to be there, I can make you last forever. But I think it was the transition, like you said. I think you said, like, you know, the execution. I think you're right. He probably just doesn't execute it as well as others.
For me personally, like, one, no, I don't think he's a visionary, but two, I never had that thought process that he was. Like, you know, I think a lot of people, unfortunately, it's not his fault, but whether it's our community or just people in general, it's society where it's like, we gotta be the first to jump on the next hot thing. So something good happens and we like push it up to the pedestal like it's the greatest thing ever. Like, you know, so we set these expectations for these people that they can't match. And if you look at it, as great as Get Out was, I mean, I saw the mug like twice in theaters. I had downloaded it and watched, like, you know, and every time you see some little hint, we're like, oh, dang, I didn't think about that. You know, like I said, Get Out was super good. But if you think of like the actual movie and the concept, it's not an original concept. We've had like Invasion of the Body Snatchers and things of that nature, where it's movies where someone takes over someone's body, right? So that's not that special. Follow that up with Us, right? Where it's like, hey, we have doppelgangers, you know, but they're evil. Again, another concept that's already been done before or whatever, right? The one unique thing that he's done, I want to say, and I'm talking about the movies he's directed or whatever, or written, whatnot, would be Nope, where it's like, okay, yeah, it's a alien movie, which we've already seen alien movies before, but the twist or the way he has this alien movie is a little different than your usual ones were, right? So that's that. But at the same time, every movie got quote unquote worse and worse and worse, or you got let down more because you had so much hype from the first one, right? So Get Out comes out, and I remember like the first day that I saw Get Out, I didn't see it like the first day of release or anything, and I saw it like from the first week, right? I go in there, there's me and like one other couple in the theater, and this is like a weekday, so maybe that's part of the reason, but there's nobody there. I go again like a week or 2 weeks later with like the wife and the kid, and like it's packed. So I mean, like it was a slow, like, you know, like build up to the hype, but because of that, it got so hype. And so yeah, maybe there's some pressure on him, like I gotta like, you know, come up with something good again, blah 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 blah, right? But it wasn't like he was above like all like the greatest director of horror and black horror. He was nowhere near that, in my personal opinion.
Oh, for sure.
And then outside of those 3 movies, which he did do, the other ones, yeah, he's just producing. So I'm not holding him at fault for Candyman. I'm not holding him at fault for what you just do,
Him?
Yeah, him. Like, you know, like, and I found that out after I did watch Candyman, because I was like, oh, okay, yeah, this is pretty whack. Well, I guess, okay, it's not him. It's not him that was like involved in the entire thing. He's just producing it, so fair enough. And so the way that they advertised those motherfuckers, it was like, from the mind of Jordan Peele. It's like, yeah, okay, maybe he had some involvement, but it's not from him, you know what I mean?
But you can feel when he's involved, though. Like, you can feel, like, Candyman, even, like, because I watched it, you can, even though he didn't maybe direct it, you know when it's a Jordan Peele film, not a film per se, but when he's got his
tricks.
Yeah, when he's got his touch on it, you're like, I've seen this before, you know what I'm saying? But I think, to your point where he's not a visionary, and I kind of agree, but at the same time, you said he took like Get Out, which is not an original concept, but he made such a spin on it to where it felt like an original concept, which is why people may see, oh, he's somewhat of a visionary. Because if you take something that we've seen a million times and make it feel like it's brand new, you know what I'm saying? Like,
actually, yeah.
It's same with, you know, us. You're right. There's mad movies with doppelgangers and this and that, but we've never really seen his take on it, which is why I can understand why people will call him a visionary to a certain degree. It's just, again,
that's just throwing sprinkling black on it, because like you take a white story and you like you know, put it with black characters and from the black perspective. That's why Get Out was so good, because like as a black person, like I was scared as a motherfucker, like dang, like, you know. But other people, and I guess it could apply to everything. It's not just black dude, but like any of those like recurring like tropes or stories that you think of, if you can put a twist on, whether it's like, you know, your ethnicity, or if you put in, you know, instead of Ghostbusters all men, you have Ghostbusters are female. But if you do it better, like actually make it good, you know. And so that's the thing. That's where he did have skill. He could make it there. So I agree with you in the visionary part, in that sense of being able to take something and make it his own. But I think people were way too quick to overhype and like, oh my gosh, she can do no wrong.
When I say visionary, I still think that his name does hold some weight. So obviously, if you have a movie and it says Spielberg on it, you're expecting a certain level of quality and polish and all that stuff. You see Guillermo del Toro, like, you know, okay, it's going to be a little quirky and out there and all that stuff. But like, you kind of get a semblance of maybe this is worth watching in the sea of 1,000 movies coming out every month. So I think if you see From the Mind of Jordan Peele, at least goes, okay, I'm curious, I'm mildly interested. Now let's see if this delivers. And when I agree, so I agree that he's a kind of a visionary, that he at least does something different and unique. What I agree with Quincy, though, is the execution part. So I feel like he has great premises, and again, great marketers that are able to sell the idea, but then it just doesn't sometimes end right. Like the resolution, how it wraps up, you're kind of like, oh, you were there, and then you just didn't know what to do.
Did you watch him?
In the third act? Yeah, I did watch him. Yeah.
Okay.
So, and that's where, like, again, even that movie, great build up, great storyline, you're along for the ride. It's not boring, but then you're like, where is this going? And then it doesn't land the plane. So then at the end of the movie, and I thought that about Us a little bit. I thought that about even Us. It was kind of like you're building up to something nice, and then you didn't really know what to do, so you just like killed everybody. He's going on a rampage. Like the one I hated with a passion was Nope. I was confused the whole time. It didn't circle back to whatever they were showing in the beginning with the monkeys and stuff. It was just like you had an idea, you were going somewhere with it, and then maybe you had a new writing crew that came in and tried to finish
I
it.
think Nokia's just trying to go too deep and have too much symbolism.
So how long do you think someone's name holds cachet? Because you say like you're right in the sense that like, okay, if you hear from the mind of Jordan Peele, you're somewhat interested, but let's be honest, like he's been putting out duds, so we know now. Like if you hear from the mind of Jordan Peele, we're gonna be like, so I don't even know at this point how long your name holds cachet. You know what I'm saying? Like someone too like Tyler Perry. Like you hear now a new Tyler Perry movie, you're like, we're not thinking it was about to be fire. We're like, it's about to be some mid. You know what I'm saying? And now I'm there with Jordan Peele. If I hear directed by,
You said that like it's a given.
it is a given now. Like you hear Jordan Peele now, you're like, is it gonna be good? Because everybody says he doesn't put out really good movies anymore.
Full honesty, like when I first heard about him, I was more interested in the fact that Marlon Wayans
exactly. I agree.
Jordan Peele aspect.
I 100% agree with that.
Yeah.
I only wanted to see it because I'm like, okay, it's Marlon playing a different role that we're not used to seeing. That's the only thing that made me want to jump to it.
Yeah. And that's the thing I don't want to happen. Like what you're saying, like, especially with us, we overhype, we put him on a pedestal. So I don't want that to happen to Ryan, where he already made 4 or 5 solid flicks.
I don't think that can happen with Ryan.
But like I said, as soon as he makes one that's a little off, us, we're just going to criticize to the max, especially after Sinners hit so many freaking numbers, broke so many records. Like, it's like, dang,
I think if you're well loved the way Ryan is, he can put a dud out and we'll be okay.
I think the thing, he has put out duds in my opinion, which is okay because he's actually, it wasn't like he just came out the gates and was pumping, like he did Fruitville Station, that was one of his first movies.
Which dud? Underground period.
That's what I'm saying.
What's a cool good dud?
Because I don't think he has Black Panther 2 probably.
Yeah, I don't think he has plural.
Black Panther 2. Black Panther 2.
Oh, okay.
It was like,
it's not really his fault, but okay. Yeah. It was rushed. They were like, they didn't know what to do.
Make that justification. Like, all 3 Creeds weren't that great. Like, Creed 1 was dope. Creed 2 was decent. Creed 3 was, man.
I'm gonna bite my tongue because I like all 3 of them low key. No, were they Oscar-worthy performances? No, but Creed 1 through 3 exactly. But they all had good storylines. It was good acting. I don't think any of them were corny.
That last one with
Jonathan Majors, that was phenomenal.
That was good.
That might be the best one.
Because it actually felt like he had a worthy adversary.
You don't think
they built him up as an actual opponent.
You can make an argument.
That dude was an actual opponent. His homeboy that had been locked up for forever, they didn't have any boxing.
It was a little contrived to say, they're going to all of a sudden be at each other's throat. But that's a better storyline than the next great white hype that they tried to do.
No, that was dope. That was dope because it played into the original Rocky movies with Ivan Drago, and now you have his son. That was.
I think Creed 3 because it was like really, really challenging for him. It was not just on the physical aspect. This was his homie from back in the day. You know what I'm saying?
That he did dirty. So okay, I mean, like
exactly. I don't know, man. I think all 3 Creeds are good.
I'm surprised.
I'm just fishing for the duds because I genuinely don't think Ryan has any duds. Like he might have a dud maybe, and even then I don't know if he does. I'd have to go through his Rolodex
as well, but
I don't think he has duds.
And I wouldn't call it dud in general, like regular movies. But when you look in comparison to the movies that have been hyped up, like think about Black Panther and what Black Panther did versus Black Panther 2. Now you can take into account, Chadwick, R.I.P., etc. But that one just wasn't the greatest. What have you?
I agree. I'm not a fan of that one. But there was a multitude. Like you said, it was during COVID, Chadwick. So they felt like they had to pivot and rush really quick to get it out. There was a lot of pressure.
As good as Sinners was, and I love Sinners, that one was one that seemed more so to be kind of like the Jordan Peele, like catering to the black people. Because again, living in Arizona, I got white friends. A couple of my friends were like, oh yeah, I fell asleep in there. I turned it off halfway through.
They all carried it.
No, you need to watch. And I'm telling them they gotta watch it because it is so good.
That's going down as a classic.
But yeah.
All right, so you gotta switch gears.
Okay.
You gotta switch gears.
Yeah.
Next one. Who are you riding with? Who's more toxic? Ayesha Curry or Jada Pinkett?
Let's go.
Jada. Here's the thing. So I know that Ayesha Curry has been getting some flack recently and stuff like that. And she needs someone to pull down the zipper and put some in her mouth.
Wowzer.
Word to I forgot to her action on video and stuff like that. So word to Martin Lawrence, because that's his joke they said one time that was so dope on. We're until that.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, no, someone just needs to shut her up a little bit, and this is the most non-misogynistic way. I'm just saying that it's okay for her to talk. She can say everything she wants to say, but speaking about your husband the way that she is, that's not the greatest. But what I will say is that she's only been speaking. Meanwhile, Jada was speaking and doing.
Mm-hmm.
The one of the things she was doing is August Alsina, supposedly. So
Not supposedly.
that is some dog. That's effed up. So I'd say that she's more toxic. I don't know. I don't want to talk about either one of them.
It's not even a question. It is Jada Pinkett Smith. She had an actual entanglement with her son's homie. All right. And she didn't even cheat on Will with a dude. She cheated on Will with.
Are you sure it was cheating?
Oh, 100%. Well, okay, let me say cheating. Let me revert back. Let me revert back because they weren't together. They weren't together. She slept with her son's homie in their house. That is toxic. It wasn't cheating. Even if her and Will was single and all that, she went to the inside the home. He was around hanging out with Jaden, and when Jaden's taking a shower, she's like, "Hey, come here real quick." You know what I'm saying? And that's just with that. She's also been telling us and Will, "I'm in love with Tupac. Been in love with Tupac. If Tupac were alive, he'd have my heart. He's my soulmate." Right in front of this dude. She is queen toxic.
She's just saying that's her hall pass if it existed.
No, she is mad in love.
I said I wasn't going to say anything, but that reminded me to bring that up as well. Even her, cheating or stepping out on Will that's arguably one of the worst things she did. Because keep in mind, when he tried to defend her and slap the shit out of Chris Rock, what did she do? I don't know what he did.
She was calling me his wife. We don't even talk like that. I didn't say go slap. She is
drag him in public like that. So
clean toxic. With Ayesha doesn't need to shut up forever. You know what I'm saying? Because listen, being transparent, I kind of understand what she was trying to say.
Yeah.
It's just that she says it too much. Number one, she came out a couple years ago. I wish men would pay me attention. Number one. Number two, there's the clip where she's on The View and a dude comes out with a shirt on. She's trying to take her ring off.
Yeah.
So it's
jokingly, but yeah, come on, yeah.
Okay, cool. And now she comes out and says this: "I never wanted to be married. I never wanted to be this and that." That's cool, but shut the F up forever. You are married to this man who is a gazillionaire, does right by you, isn't an ugly dude, gave you some beautiful kids, let you do whatever you want. You want to go out and do cookbooks and doing that, this and that, and you got the audacity to be out there talking like this man like that. Shut the F up forever, please. Okay.
There's a whole lot of dogs out there in the NBA, but
100%.
That's why you're one of the furthest dudes from that.
He's held you down in every way, shape, or form. You know what I'm saying? Clean cut and all of that. And this is how you talk on this man? Relax. But with all that being said, Jada Pinkett is queen bee when it comes to toxicity. Not even up for debate.
Quincy, I pretty much said it. But Jada, hands down. Especially like you said with the whole cheating or whatever you want to call it. I call it cheating. I don't care. You want entanglement, whatever. It's cheating. If you're still married to that man legally, it's cheating. I don't care if you're on a break, whatever. It's cheating. That and also the you said with the slap and just going on with the book saying this is not. We were then you say oh we weren't together but we were and now he's doing this. I was like. I can't with this chick.
It's bad.
And the whole, like I said, and we all know if the roles were reversed, if Will slept with his daughter's friend, that dude would have been canceled to the max. We would never even heard of him.
He got canceled just to slap.
Yeah, dude, but the fact that she can do that, get away with that, and been doing it for years. And even before that, even when I remember seeing the little video of her on her little camera talking about, oh, this is me and this is and I want to ask you a question, and you can clearly tell he was bothered. He's he told her I don't want to be recorded right now. You're invading my presence. I don't want to be recorded. She's like, You see what I got to deal with? But yeah, we got to go back to the doctor. We got to go back to the therapist. So I was like, to do that and to post that online, you have no respect whatsoever.
Dog, she showed up to an award show with August Alsina on her arm, dog.
Yes.
Like, that's not only is that it's bad enough that she was cracking them, but like she's flying it in front of everybody too. That's wild to me.
Well, and
So here's why I disagree with you guys. I'm going to say Ayesha Curry is more toxic.
Okay.
Because I will say that although you're saying what Jada has done, and those are actions and all that stuff, I'm still under the impression that we don't really know what Will and Jada's relationship was. And for the longest, people have been saying it's been somewhat open. Will they allow certain arrangements to occur where they're not totally monogamous, they're monogamish? And so with that in mind, I don't know what is considered cheating, what is considered, oh, you can have a hall pass with this person, or oh, you're cool with that. Maybe Will's like, hey, I can only keep up once a week. And she's like, well, I got to fill another 6 days with something. Either way, we're just speculating on what the relationship is like. I'm going to take it up as he's allowed her to do certain things and she's just taking it too far.
Okay.
With that in mind, that's just my assumption. Okay. With that in mind, I think Ayesha Curry talking about how she hasn't been able to do anything on her own, has been basically forced into this wife and mother role earlier than she wanted to, and kind of just having those regrets that some of us have of like, I never got to soil my royal oats. I never got to try things. I never got to experience things. I never got to just be on a yacht and F it around. I never got to do spring break. So she's just kind of having some of those second thought regrets, and it's going to keep coming up because she can't fulfill that. That's going to be forever just some bug in your ear of like, well, do you just need to get out of your system? Or like, are you just going to like implode or just expose all our dirty laundry on whatever platform you can find? That's tough to live with. And that,
I think,
but
I
that's
could
just
see
the
that.
common. That like you just said, that's everybody has those thoughts and stuff like that. Like sometimes I think to myself, like, damn.
but
If I knew what I knew back then, what I know now, like, like, you know, oh, I missed out on doing this or this, you know. So she just happens to be a person that has a platform and answered questions honestly. So she's just talking about things, not actually.
And I see your point where you're saying like, okay, we didn't really know the situation between Will and Jada or like what they really were. But what we do know is even though we didn't know their relationship, we know Will, when he was out in the public, never like moved a certain way the way Jada does. Like Will was like, yeah, he might be at award shows and this and that, but we never heard him say anything about like, oh, woman this, woman that, whatever. But yet Jada always had some opportunity to talk about Tupac this, Tupac that, me and Will, whatever. Then she had a whole red table talking about how she XYZ. So while I understand
think Will is innocent because we've heard the rumors about him and Fresh Prince.
I saw some stuff too.
rumors,
Every
we've heard
girl on
rumors,
Fresh Prince he liked.
but we haven't heard rumors from Will. We've heard
way back before Jada.
Not too far.
It's far enough.
But still,
But the biggest point though is like, okay, we've heard rumors about Will, but we haven't heard Will open his mouth in public. We've heard Jada being toxic from her own mouth. So if we're gonna revert back to that, I don't care if we've heard Will was gay, we've heard Will crack this person, we heard Will crack Margot Robbie, we've heard all of that, that's fine. But we haven't heard Will confirm this. We've heard Jada confirm that she was obsessed with Pac. Every single time. We've heard her say that I cracked an entanglement with August. We've heard her say, yeah, me and Will weren't. We saw her say it to Will. Yo, we weren't together, or I've been happy. I don't know how to be happy, so I had to go this route.
One thing we did hear is when she was saying that, and that same thing, she did mention like, but you're doing your thing. And he's like, yeah. That's all I said. So we don't know what his thing was.
Exactly.
Whether he was with Margot Robbie or whoever else, all the other co-stars and things of that nature. But yes, so likely they did have some type of entanglement, situation, agreement. Cool. But like he mentioned, he wasn't.
Will always held it down. Even if he did allow her, he held it down. He didn't say a word. She's out here talking crazy. So okay, Ayesha, I could see what you're saying, but I still think it doesn't hold a candle to the toxicity we've been seeing since like early 2000s from Jada.
And I think also with Ayesha, and some of the women not gonna like this, but even with a little with Jada, we're in a generation now, in a part of society where women are encouraged to be this way and to say that they don't like men, and we are upholding these women to this little higher standard. That's why, honestly, some of the movies are the way they are. We're making women focus. That's why Black Panther 2 was garbage. And not saying that because the Black Widow was a woman, but everybody in there was woman. There's not a man's role in there besides the antagonist that had more than 5 minutes of speech. Like, you can watch that whole movie. There was besides the bad guy in the movie, like no man talked more than 5 minutes in that whole movie.
I don't know, there's the trend now that things are trying to be more like,
Exactly, and that's what I'm saying.
Cater to who the masses are, what's popular at the time.
And
I don't think that's necessarily like toxicness or like,
But it's encouraging toxicness, because now she's like, oh, okay, well, you can't be wrong. You can say this, and like you're encouraged. Like the women, like on The View, there's an episode before that where they were saying, what was it? It was saying like how women don't need a man, doesn't need a man, and the one of the hosts was saying like, oh yeah, you don't need a man, you need a slave. Like you need this, you need that. Like if
they always say you need a dog or something.
Yeah, like there's not one man show on there that exists right now that can say something like that won't be apologizing. Like, even on ESPN.
Because that's the same thing that you could say like as a white dude. You're like, the black guys, they can have this and they can say this because we can't do this. Same thing with women can say this, but if a man does, so
no, not on a national level though. On like this, like name one national television show where a black, or not even a black man, but a man can say so much negativity about another gender and not apologize the next day, not get fired the next week.
Well, it's because we don't want to.
We can't.
No, we can. I'm on the opposite side of that take, but it's just because we don't want to.
That too, we don't want to, and we know there's repercussions. I guarantee. How many times have something happened, even with that little sex scandal on ESPN? Like he's like, oh, what this woman did. Who knows what she did? Like, oh, I apologize to this person. That like, come on now.
All right, so here's the next question, which is similar to what you guys bringing up. Are you guys for raw and unfiltered, or are you for some censorship of your speech? There should be some guardrails on what you can talk about. Because
you can say whatever the you want.
Who's you?
Just recognize that consequences are consequences. I mean, that's the part. Like, I get so annoyed when people are like, oh, you're restricting my freedom, you're restricting my speech. And so, just because you got fired because people like told that you said something you probably shouldn't have said, you said it, so you were able to say it. Were you not? No one's blocking your mouth. I'm saying a word,
but here's the thing.
Cutting it out. You can do whatever you want. Just accept consequences. Realize that,
I agree.
That's the thing. That's the thing. I think it's something we have to learn at an early age. Is the whole like, not everything needs to be said. Mm-hmm. Some things they get you in trouble. It's not worth the effort. It's not worth expressing.
All the time, but
sometimes people have to get it off their chest and have different outlets for that. But I don't know. I feel like there should be some censorship to your speech where you don't have to say everything. And you don't have to, even, again, we all have partners in which that, if we say certain things, they're going to get hurt. No matter how, no, just tell me what you think. No, I don't care. It's just whatever you want to say.
And if you're okay, but that consequence, then you say what you want to say.
I think everybody can kind of be in the middle. I agree that we should be able to live raw and unfiltered if you want to. But with that being said, like you said, there's consequences to it. So that goes to your point. Not everything should be said. But like, if you're in a corporate setting, in a meeting, of course, if your boss is pissing you off, you don't want to be like, yo, boss, F you. Like, you don't want to be raw and unfiltered because you shouldn't say it. But I'm on the side of, if you want to be raw and unfiltered, by all means do that. But just know.
Is that the goal? Is the goal to be able to say something without ever having to have a consequence impact your life?
I don't see why not. You know what I'm saying? Well, I'll say it this. No, because obviously some words some people can't take. So like if you have a raw and unfiltered take about somebody that it's going to hurt their feelings, should you say that, especially if you care about that person? Maybe not. So if I see where you're trying to go. So in that regard, I guess I'd have to say filter somewhat, because like we all love our wives, right, or girlfriends or whatever. Like there's things you want to say to them, but you know how they're gonna feel. You know exactly. You know what
So you
time
say
it
it
is.
anyway, you just accept the consequences. That's what I do.
But I don't.
trouble, you know, like,
But it's like it's gonna be further than that. Listen.
So-
This is me we're talking about.
Right.
I will say whatever the hell I need to say.
What?
100%.
Since when?
Since forever. And, even with this pod, I tell you guys, like I try to hold some things back because I respect how you guys move and respect the platform. But like, if I really wanted to get my off, I would. So it's like I do like to be raw and unfiltered, but I also know like.
And that's more of a moral judgment. If you're talking about like morally, should you be able to say everything? Should you not be able to say anything? That's a whole nother.
I think that's his question.
It's not the should.
I
It's
thought you were saying like restrict things as far as from I don't want to say a legal standpoint, but from a societal standpoint. And for me, I'm like, no, like everybody, I'm cool with everybody saying everything they want to say as long as they recognize there's consequences.
That's why I say I teeter in the middle.
Morally, yeah, it's probably not the greatest to say certain things. It's not saying you can't say it, but you probably shouldn't. So there's a difference there.
It's tough for me to be able to say either or. I'm on the side, like I said, raw and unfiltered all day, every day. I think you should be able to say what's on your mind, say what you want to say, and feel comfortable saying it. But again, if I know it's going to hurt a loved one, number one, or if it's going to mess up a bag, like if you're at your job or whatever, or anything in general, like if you're, Chuck, or, you're on TNT and you're Shaq and you're saying something that is going to like mess up the bag, don't do that. You know what I'm saying? But I'm on the raw and unfiltered side. So to me, I kind of teeter in the middle. It's kind of tough.
I feel you. Like, pretty much the same. Like, when you're saying as a society, do we want to get to the point where it's raw on the filter? I was like, I don't want to say yes, but I don't see why we would want to get to that point. Why would you need to just voice everything always and say foul stuff just because it's on your mind?
Why does that have to be foul?
No, I'm just saying if that's in your mind, this on your mind, it's raw and unfiltered. So if I got a foul thing to say, why would I say it? Like it's not necessary to be raw and unfiltered all the time. Like should it be allowed? Cool, whatever. You can say whatever, like I said, it's consequences. Mm-hmm. But I don't think we ever should get to the point where it's accepted just to be raw and unfiltered because what's the point of that?
So before we leave this, I guess my thing is like, what would you consider raw and unfiltered? Like an opinion, or like are you specifically attacking somebody? Because if your opinion is the opposite of whatever is popular, are we consider that raw and unfiltered? Like, I hate the dude, but Donald Trump is super raw and unfiltered. You know what I'm saying? And he's praised for it, literally praised for it. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Or Joe Budden, for the most part, is raw and unfiltered and is praised for it. So like, what's wrong with that? You know what I'm saying? Like. So where is it wrong, or where is it considered raw and unfiltered? If I have an opinion about, just right now, we had an opinion about Ayesha Curry and all that was raw and unfiltered. Like I didn't call her the B word. I don't want to call her the B word. I don't think she is.
Exactly.
But if I call it the B word, is that considered being raw and unfiltered? You know what I'm saying? So like, I guess I teeter even with that. What do we consider? What's the context of raw and unfiltered?
Well, I think part of it's because also there are those where you've said like, I could say how I really feel. And it's like some people are holding back. Some people are like, well, that's not really how I feel. That's just maybe an emotional reaction, a knee-jerk reaction. And if I had time to think, I might consider it a little bit differently. So there's also sometimes where it's like, what are your true thoughts? How do you really feel? How do you want to articulate that? Are there words for that? Because the English language is limiting in some ways.
And that's where, again, the consequences come into play. If you make the judgment of when's the right time for you to say what you want to say, filtered or unfiltered. But he touched on a good point when he mentioned, like, I could call Ayesha Curry, but I don't want to. So, like, what's the need? I guess that's my question when it comes to a lot of these matters with, like, they're restricting our rights and, freedoms and so on and so forth. Like, freedom to be an a-hole. Well, why do you want to be an a-hole? Like, what? Like, what? Yeah. It goes back to that whole situation of, like, white guys saying the N-word. It's like, well, why can't I say it? Why do you want to say it?
Yeah.
Well, I want to rap to my song. Okay, then that's cool, I guess. But I mean, like, I don't get why, like, because it's restricted, like, okay, like, to murder somebody is illegal, right? Like, I don't have this urge to murder somebody. People piss me off and like, I want to beat the shit out of them, but I don't want to murder somebody.
Yeah.
So why are people like fighting so hard to have these freedoms to do things that are horrible,
Well, I think one of the things that was really, we've seen the last couple of months, and they've been doing it for 20 years, South Park. South Park could be considered raw and unfiltered. Now they have lawyers that make sure they don't cross certain boundaries, certain lines. But there was a lot of their content where they only get away with it because it's a cartoon.
Oh yeah, same with Family Guy. And
they don't consider that to be an actual, real life libel or some sort of chastising, disdaining, whatever, as someone's likeness, because they're able to do it in parody. They're able to do it, but a lot of this is real life, and they just happen to be mimicking it in a cartoon fashion, and that metaphor works perfectly. But a lot of the stuff they're doing right now, especially in this latest couple seasons, is raw and unfiltered.
It is.
I guess. You could say Corey Holcomb's raw and unfiltered, but he's not getting well, he's maybe not popular enough, but he's not getting canceled by all the women in the world.
There's a reason why Corey Holcomb isn't where he is. It's because of his unfilteredness.
Yeah.
His unfilteredness has got
certain
him
doors, but not other doors.
Yeah, it's the bigger doors. Like the
that
doors.
happens with all comedians. So if you think that, there's a lot of comedians where they're just on the comedy circuit and they're not your mainstream Kevin Hart blockbuster dude, because they didn't drink the Kool-Aid or do.
No, you know what it is?
Hollywood
I
stuff,
think he just was raw and unfiltered in different situations. For example, if we're going on the comedian path, Richard Pryor was able to say whatever he wanted, and granted, it was a different time, but then as you move up a generation, Eddie Murphy was allowed to say whatever he wanted. He was talking about gay people on top of a police car going, woo, 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 in 1983, and he, in the 90s, Martin was able to say whatever he wanted to say. Fast forward to Chappelle, literally did whatever he wanted on cable television, and it catapulted him in the stratosphere.
And that's just the time.
Different times, yeah.
No, because he does it today. And he gets on Netflix deals. So I'm not going to allow the today thing. He can say, he's talking about transgender people and he gets millions of hits whenever, for the most part. But my point is today, even now, Bill Burr says whatever he wants.
But are these exceptions?
No, it was done the right way. Raw and unfiltered. Bill Burr says whatever he wants today.
And when did Bill Burr say the N-word?
He doesn't have to, and nor does he want to. He's raw and unfiltered. He does raw and unfiltered comedy about everybody. So he doesn't need to say the N-word.
That's not the honest word.
So what's the white dude that worked with Lucy Kelly on the show? No.
Oh, Neil Brennan.
Yeah, Neil Brennan. Yeah, Neil Brennan. His show, he said the N-word multiple times.
Okay.
But
that was what he wanted to do.
Exactly. So he's able to say it, but also you're not seeing him But it also could be the level of comedian, how funny one guy is versus another.
Well, Neil Brennan was also
I don't think Bill Burr can say whatever he wants to say. He has to be a little bit.
Bill Burr 100% could. He could in his next special say the N-word and make it mid-context, and he'd get away with it.
Oh yeah. But there will be backlash, just like there's backlash with Chappelle and the whole transphobia stuff or whatever. So it's not so much that they can say whatever they want. Just like you said with Eddie Murphy and saying things about homosexuals or whatever. Yeah. Back then, a whole lot of other people could do it too. So it wasn't it's all right, yeah, we're going to cancel you for that. And so, same thing here. Fast forward now to this time where, yes, Dave Chappelle says some things about or whatever. I just said that.
Yeah.
But trans people, and I guess he's gotten away with it, but he's at that level where he's been able to get away, but still have backlash. There still is backlash there.
Backlash or just opinions of people that didn't like what he said.
Yeah.
Because what do we consider backlash? Someone on an article going, "I didn't like what you said." It didn't matter. He's still getting shows.
It's just a measurement of how many people
He still has a bag. He still is being booked. He's still selling out shows. It's not considered backlash because there was a bunch of people, or not a bunch, a certain group of people that didn't like what he said.
A certain group of people, yeah.
I don't consider that backlash. Then everybody has backlash. Then you can put an album out, and it's I didn't like your album. That's backlash, but it still went multi-platinum. You know what I'm saying?
No, if you make a track or something like that, saying fat girls, or whatever, right there, right? And then you have Lizzo come out and say something hey, that's not backlash. But if Lizzo and groups and groups and groups, so people that are obese or that falls in that demographic, they're coming at you, that's where I'd say that'd be backlash.
But that's why I'm tying into everything. I think only certain comedians get your quote unquote the backlash, and then you have someone who were we just talking about?
Neil Brennan?
No, not Neil Brennan.
Bill Burr?
The one that has the podcast that I said that was canceled. My bad, I'm drawing a blank.
Joe Rogan?
No, we were just talking about
Corey? No,
Corey Holcomb. Yeah, that's what I'm circling back to Corey Holcomb. He has said stuff so outlandish to where he's being not canceled, but he's getting backlash from everybody. It's not just one group, which is why I'm saying that he's been so much pigeonholed and like he can't really move to the next level because of his content, and he's okay with that. He's raw and unfiltered, and he says, "I stand on it." Cool, stand on it, but look where you're at. You know what I'm saying? That's kind of where the circle that
makes sense.
All right, so this goes back to one of the things that Brian said earlier, which was around he doesn't want to hurt anyone, and if he did, like it wouldn't go to the level of murder. But consequences, kind of a political issue. Are you guys for death penalty? Or are you for life in prison? Which one is worse? Which one is worse? Obviously, one's death, end of life, existence, whatever, suffering is over. Life in prison is not the best thing in the world, somewhat similar to slavery in many different ways. But you do have life.
Worse for the person or like...
Yeah, it's worse for the person. What's worse for the person?
Oh, worse for the person is, I think, life. Yeah, I think
and this is a person that I've never been in the prison system or anything, and maybe visited a jail like twice, if ever. I've known people that have been in jail or in prison and stuff like that, conversed with them, and it is what it is. But it's crazy because at one point, like I told my mom had to like shut me down on this, but like I was like, I mean, depending on like, you know, what jail you go to and what you go to jail for, it might not be that bad. Hear me out.
You said jail or prison?
Prison.
Two different things.
Prison.
Prison.
I understand what he's saying.
So, food. You don't have to worry about your meal. Probably tastes nasty, but you have your food. Every day you get food. Bit by bit by bit by bit by bit. You do good or you get money on your books, you can get some more food or more, you know, treats, things of that nature, right? Shelter. You have shelter all the time, 24/7, you know, you have a community, unless you're like locked down isolation where you have a community of people, so you can like, you know, free education in some cases. Like, I mean, there's people getting out of jail that have like a better education than me. You got all the time in the world. You can learn like 5. So it's a matter like you're put in this situation. You got to use it to your advantage. And that's not to dismiss like the bad stuff. Yes, people get raped or whatever. You know, people get assaulted. People don't finish their bid. You know, they die. So there's all sorts of negative things as well. But I take it, you know, from a spiritual standpoint. As long as like you're still breathing, every day is a blessing. So the fact that you get to stay alive for all those days, even people on death row, you get to stay alive for all those days versus, you know, death, especially, and this is just in regards to, if it's death, you just died. You're over with, your life's done, right? So that's horrible. But then imagine in situations where you spend your life in prison for something you didn't commit, life, where to Martin Lawrence, you know, and Murphy, or you get killed, executed for something you didn't do. And it's like, oh yeah, like, you know, you've been dead for 20 years, but now they have like forensic evidence that you didn't do it. Like, oh yeah, we're going to tell your family that we're sorry. You know what I mean? So yeah, for me, death is worse.
So to that point, number one, if I'm going based on his question, just like life, not doing 20 years in prison. If you're doing the rest of your natural life in prison, to me, that's a lot worse. Going to your point quickly, if it's somebody that you're in jail or in prison for something you didn't do, you have to spend the rest of your life every day with everything taken away from you, knowing you didn't do it. I feel like that would be a lot more miserable than just like taking your life. And also depending on your age, like say our age or whatever, and like, you know, you get some pinned on you that you killed somebody, you know you didn't do it. Your family, everyone knows you didn't do it, but now you have to spend the next, 40 to 50 years in solitary confinement or whatever. You're in prison, fam. Everything taken from you. Everything you said, hold on, like the bad food, whatever it happens, but you know you didn't do it. And the thing is, we're talking about, fam, 24 hours a day. Like, there's days that we're bored. 23 hours, yeah. But there's days we're at the crib bored, like, dang, this is a long day. Imagine you're confined, and that's your life every day for the rest of your life for something you didn't do. You know,
especially, and you know why you're bull driving is because more than anything, Brian said, I just want to do what I want to do. And you have your basic needs met, but that number one thing in your life is now not.
And those basic needs are met because let's even go with something as simple as food. You're served trash. What if one day you want a burger? No, I ain't got a burger. You want pizza one day.
That's why I said you got porridge. You got winery books and stuff like that. You can get things. You can buy commissary snacks.
So,
and everything, you know?
but you can't get what you want. The whole thing is want. And I'm just going based on what you said. If you were jailed for something you didn't do. You know, like imagine that, bro. Take me out. No, I don't want to sit for 40 years for something I didn't. Take me out.
Okay. So you get into a car accident.
Okay.
You get into a car accident. It wasn't your fault. Someone else is driving, but you're the one that gets the injury, right? And then what happens? You lose your legs. So now you can't walk. Would you rather just die in that car accident, or would you rather live?
Well, no, I'm still. That's a whole different story.
No. Because you used to walk everywhere, you used to be everywhere, or
that's a different question.
No, I'm gonna rock with you. Go ahead.
You don't lose your legs, right?
Okay.
But you lose your eyesight, or you lose your hearing, so you can't hear music anymore. So what I'm trying to explain is that like the concept of like, all right, yeah, prison takes away your freedom. Just like injuries, disabilities can take away part of your life. Maybe you go in like someplace and you got like exiled and you can never go to America again. You have to live the rest of your life in a foreign country. There's so many things where like, yes, you get something taken away from you, but because you're still alive, you can make the best.
No, but see, with your example, with the car accident, you have the ability to adapt to your situation. And hold on, 9 times out of 10, no, you cannot. 9 times out of 10, you're doing it with loved ones. You're not by yourself. In prison, you're by yourself. You're not adapting, especially, I'm gonna keep using your example of being in prison and in jail for something you didn't do. You can't adapt to that situation because now you're taken away from your family, your kids, your wife, your friends, your family, your job, whatever. You can't adapt to that shit.
2 words.
No, hold on. You can't adapt to that. But if you lose a leg or lose an arm or whatever, you have the ability to adapt to that scenario with your family, your friends, your loved one. You can still do what you want. You just can't go play basketball. But you can still adapt. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? You've adapted. Mm-hmm. But you're not in prison.
So 2 words.
Go ahead.
The Hurricane.
Oh,
you see that movie?
Yeah, of course I have.
So what happened? Did he adapt? Did he like his life was over and and that's been multiple examples of stories like that. So I mean, like, there's been people that have like, again, they were serving life, whatever the case is. They have those groups that are like, hey, we're gonna fight for this person because we believe they're, and they get out of jail. And it's like, hey, okay, or get out of prison, but cool, you're out.
But he was miserable every day. First of all, he said solitary confinement, and I mean, we saw the movie. He contemplated suicide. He had his one side talking to him. You know what I'm saying? Like, he was going through it mentally. That's not something you adapt to. Eventually, he came out and was like, okay, I'm changing. I guess I'll have to just agree to this is where I'm at here. So like, but he still wasn't himself. So that in that regard,
we found Jesus.
Yeah, that's not adapting to his scenario.
Okay, but
what does Quincy think first? What's Quincy think?
Yeah.
So, shoot, y'all said a lot. So, well, first foremost, like
death or prison.
Prison, like, yeah, because like if you're thinking the best case scenario, like, oh, I got money in my books, I'm like, that's movie stuff. Like, that's just some of the stuff like these people nowadays where, oh, I got a video game in there, I got a cell phone in there, that's not the norm. Like if you're thinking like Oz, like the movie where the show Oz, where you constantly have to be dying or getting hurt.
Maximum security.
Yeah, that's something you don't want to live forever. Like you said, knowing that my wife's out there, my kids out there growing up without me, my family, my mom, I can't see her no more. I can't see my kids grow up, I can't see them graduate. Like, you would be miserable. Now, taking back to your point on the hurricane, like, you're missing a part of that movie where they started talking to him. He told them how many times, no, don't do it, because he came up in his mind like, I'm already dead. In his mind, he was like, don't do it. They tried before. I don't want you to do it. I don't want to give me false hope. I accepted the fact that I'm going to die here. And you bring even that little solid empathy, because like, what if that movie went the other way around? Like, oh yeah, we brought this and it's like, we're gonna get you out. I'm like, oh, guess what? Yeah, that's not gonna happen now. So, like, you gave up and you got some potential to hope where you started to smile and then you had to do that again. Yeah. Like, no, that would be miserable.
It goes back to what you said, adapting, bro. Mm-hmm. You have to adapt to, once they get that mindset, and it's not like just a switch, okay, yeah, I'm just gonna like accept it. Yes, there's ups and downs, there's suicidal thoughts, things of that nature. But, and I don't know if you guys watch any of those, like, I don't want to say documentaries, but those prison shows where they talk about people's life in prison and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Think about how many people that are on that show that have like, life sentences or whatever. And, it's years, they've been in jail for like 10, 20 years. And they're like, well, I accept what I did. I realized what I did. I accept, I'm making the best of it. Right. And so in the long term, there's miserable times and whatnot. But even though like I'm confined to this room for 24/7 and I'm damn near going crazy, like I play this little game with my fingers, or I exercise, I do whatever I do to like get by day to day to day. So the misery of like, oh my gosh, like this is hell, like I want to die, why didn't they just kill me? Isn't there anymore as time progresses.
No, again, you're thinking of best case scenario. It's like you said, it's a show. They're not going to show you the horror. They're going to show like, oh yeah, guess what? He had a smile. He was playing tic-tac-toe. He's good. They're not going to show.
Do you know anyone that's been to jail or prison?
Yeah, I know somebody that's still there.
And are they still alive?
Yeah. So they're not happy.
They're not happy, but also they're not to the point where they want to kill themselves.
I don't know that.
We don't know that.
We don't know
Why
that.
haven't they killed themselves? That's the thing. That's the other benefit. It's like, all right. I think benefit.
It's not as easy as you think, and plus, like, who wants to? Especially, like you said, the religious side of things.
Yeah.
If you believe in pearly gates, then you know that committing suicide, you're going to be in purgatory.
That's a core. If you believe
Exactly.
that book, yes. But even with that said, too, it's like you ain't got. So here's the thing.
There's a better side. Let me get to it.
So
Versus just being here for the next 50 years, miserable.
So first of all, if you're going to jail or if you're about to get executed,
Everybody can be forgiven.
most things are coming up in the head, right? So okay, first of all, let's based off your premise or what you're saying, right? The two options are either you're serving life in prison or you're getting executed, right? So whatever you did had to be heinous enough for you to have those two situations. Yes. Again, assuming it's that you actually did it and you're not like innocent type deal, right? Okay, so if that's the case, you did something so heinous, what makes you think you're going to heaven? First thing. Second thing to know.
Repent.
Okay.
You've been to church.
Second thing.
Any sin can be forgiven. Repented on.
Repent. Like,
Not wrong, but keep going.
Second thing. So in either of those scenarios where either you're going to get executed or you're going to jail for life, if you choose the route of getting executed, right? Like you're like, all right, I'd rather just die. Okay. When are you getting executed?
First of all, you don't get to choose.
No.
Hold on,
And the reason I'm pointing this out is because if you guys looked on the news like a couple of weeks ago, or a couple of days ago actually, they had an old dude that was sentenced to death for a crime he committed in 1993.
Like a long time ago, yeah.
but we're not saying that though.
He's not about to get killed until like 2 weeks from now. So he's been in this prison that you guys are all talking about so horrible or whatever for like 30 plus years.
But that's the legal standpoint. That's not his choice. He didn't say, "Oh, you're gonna give me life or you're gonna give me death penalty." Wait 20 years. That's not his choice. That's the society's choice.
But and
that's the legal justice standpoint.
So why what I'm saying is like if you guys are like, oh, I'd rather just die. Well, you're still gonna have to suffer through like being in prison for so long. Like,
but we're not saying that. You're thinking outside the box. We're just asking a simple question like. Death or prison. We're not saying death 10 years down later in prison. We're just saying death right now or prison.
So you commit a crime and like you're about to get like the cops are surrounding you and stuff like that. You're like, all right, let me go out guns blazing and let them shoot me, as opposed to let me like go through the court system and go like possibly.
We can do that. Like,
if I know for a fact I'm about to do prison without the possibility of parole or whatever for something I did, I'm going out like Queen Latifah. Set it off.
All right, y'all braver than me.
Yeah, this is 100%.
I'm the type. I will make a way out of something. So if I'm like there just locked,
I enjoy my freedom, dog. I can't see like having to sit and sail for the rest of my natural born life, fam. And like what, and you know what? And because God likes to play tricks, I feel like God would like make me to be 98, which means I'm going to be alive for the next 58 years, fam. Are you kidding me?
I'm gonna get in trouble for saying this, but you just made me think about you enjoy your freedom.
Yeah. Listen. Okay, you're right. But you
know what I'm saying.
And you have the choice.
Exactly.
Look, you have the choice to take this off, but not cuffs. There's a difference. Freedom, my brother, freedom.
Did you not see what's that movie? I don't know. It's a movie, of course, but still, people have escaped from prison. So
I mean, yeah, and then they get caught. You saw the five from New Orleans.
Yeah.
That the one dude, he was gone for a couple of months, living his life, and got busted because he had an argument with his girlfriend.
they have those shows like that show like I Almost Got Away with It. I watch those all the time.
Oh, me too.
And the thing is, like, they always just be doing stupid shit. That's all.
100%.
And that's one of those scenarios where like you break out of prison and then like you end up going and leaving the country, and it's like, all right, well, like I know I can't go back to the country and see my family, see my friends. That's another situation again where something's taken away from you, but you adapt. You develop this new family in Cuba that
But you didn't adapt. You hated prison so much you tried to get out.
Yeah, so you adapt, but yeah, you didn't adapt to prison. That's narrow.
Exactly.
You adapted to getting to living in whatever foreign country.
Okay.
Because you're still taken away from things, So that's all I'm saying is like.
This brother got arts and crafts.
You got boxing.
Hey,
Just like put together.
you got busy. I like it. What we doing?
In case I have a little arts and crafts. All right, this is gonna be a quick recap
Damn, like half an hour, like
from episodes back in the day.
Okay, some grimy
Who
pictures.
said it? Who said it? This is from episode 1.
Okay.
His voice doesn't bother me at all. I love the way he enunciates, referring to Kendrick. Who said that?
Oh, that was.
First and foremost, his voice doesn't bother me at all. I love the way he. Okay, first of all, I love the way he enunciates. I think he has some of the best enunciation in hip hop. Like he enunciates every word, even down to like the last syllable. You know what I'm saying? Even at the very beginning, the song when he says "I grieve different," I grieve different. Like he.
What we got?
It was Don.
That definitely was me.
Don.
That definitely was me.
Don.
That is hilarious. I do, because I remember you said like you don't like how he flows and how he raps and stuff. How he always changes his voice.
Yeah, like that. I still.
And he does
That was a
yeah.
classic from episode 1.
It reminds me like some like Nicki Minaj kind of like stuff.
Yeah, no, I listen. Still to this day, I'm here for
And that was evaluating, what album was that?
not G and X. It was because if it was the first episode, it was probably like Damn or To Pimp a Butterfly.
No,
Because that was a couple years ago.
It wouldn't have been G and X.
I think
it wasn't Gina. Gina X was too recent. It was.
I think it was just us talking about him specifically.
Kid Mad City, although I love that album, but like I think like when he first came out, he had like Rick Mortis. Like I wasn't a big fan of that track, and that one I think maybe that's where I had.
I think we might have just been talking about him specifically because it wasn't about an album. This was a couple years ago. It had been, and it was right before the beef too. So
Yeah.
we might have just been talking about his work in general.
All right, who said this? I still rap along with the lyrics in the car, but the parts I remember, great. But the parts I don't remember, I just wait until the part I remember.
It's been a minute and a day, it seems like, since the last time I intentionally tried to memorize a song. Like I'll still like rap along with lyrics as I'm like in the car and stuff, but the parts that I remember great. The parts I don't remember, I just wait for the part I remember. It's not like I'm intentionally listening to it back to back to back. So
It is actually Brian Stewart Wilson.
Yeah.
Yeah, well, basically, it was basically like, what lyrics do you remember? What was kind of one of the hardest, most difficult? And I was bringing up like Twista, a lot of speed rappers. We brought up Busta, we brought up Eminem even, and all that stuff. And you were like, I just rap along to the parts I remember, and if I don't remember, I just wait till the part I remember comes on.
Sounds hilarious.
Yeah, that sounds like Brian.
All right, who said this? Most people have their credit card locked in on their phone, making it easier and convenient. But nah, I don't do that.
Oh, that's homie right here.
Oh, okay.
Exactly. Like most people have their credit card just locked on their phone to make it easier and convenient. Like, nah, I'm cool. I don't do all that.
I got mine memorized in my head. And so like I can just, do whatever. I don't need to save it. And I'm always paranoid, thinking like, all right, yeah, like the minute I save my issues, the minute I'm gonna like lose my phone. I was gonna say it was
Quincy.
No, because I'm the one that said I use my credit card, my phone for everything.
We're talking about Roblox and people having all sorts of,
I remember that.
putting stuff on their phones, like purchases, kids
He
just
does
buying
nothing
stuff.
with his phone, yo.
Yeah. Not at all.
That was funny. That was episode 5. All right, episode 7. How things are right now, when they think they are the table rather than what they bring to the table, They think they don't got to change.
Aren't you sick and tired of? Don't you want to go on your last first date? Like, aren't you sick of it?
Trust me. That's the end goal. But like Harold was saying, like, it's the aspect of, do they want to though? It's like, how do they empower themselves? It's like at the same time, it's like they gotta want to. They gotta want to change. They gotta want to be better. And with this, how things are going right now, when they think they are the table compared to what they want to bring to the table, and the ego behind it, it's like.
Yeah, that was Quincy again.
I was gonna say that definitely sounded like
That was Quincy.
getting in that bag.
I was like, I wasn't sure.
Like, nah, he's getting into that bag. I already know he's about to get into that bag now with the women. I'm like, where are we going, bro?
Y'all scared.
He said automatically. All right. Entertaining people can make you laugh at a time or two, but they can still be trash.
I'm gonna send Harold on that one.
Sound like something Harold say.
I'm not a big fan of Cedric the Entertainer. Ced has made me laugh. I said it about Ricky Smiley. I'm not a big fan of him. The little Daryl made me laugh the first time I heard it. I was like, he's cross-eyed, he's got these big glasses, and he's going, my name, Little Daryl. I laughed. Do I find him funny? No. Entertaining people can make you laugh a time or two, but he could still be trash. Trash people have made you laugh.
It was actually Dom.
I was gonna say, I'm like, that sounds like something I'd say.
That was Dom.
Once he said the word trash, I'm like, no, that's not good.
Yeah, Harold is trash, like, man.
No, that's what
Both of y'all say trash though.
What episode was that? That was early.
That was episode 12.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that had to be recent.
All right, here we go. Episode 14. Jackie Chan doesn't get enough love. To me, I'd take Jackie Chan movie over Bruce Lee any day of the week.
Oh, you would say some
Yeah,
shit like that.
And I know Don might be a Bruce Lee fan, whatever. But for me, unpopular opinion, I'm not going to say he's overrated. But I will say that Jackie Chan doesn't get enough love. That to me, I think I'll take a Jackie Chan over a Bruce Lee any day of the week. That was terrible.
Yeah, no,
Some whack-ish, huh?
yeah, bro.
That was when we were talking about Bruce Lee.
Yeah.
Talking about some of the movies he had.
You were glazing homie a little too hard for my taste. Jackie Chan's cool, but
All right, next one, episode 18. Chris has been more consistent than Usher. It was My Way, 8701, Confessions, and then he fell off.
yeah.
Chris doesn't have classic albums aside from his very first one. But I think at the clip he puts music out, I listen to Chris a whole lot more. And then if I'm factoring in everything as like an artist, like no one is putting on shows like Chris. No, you know what I'm saying? Like he's super, super consistent. I think he's been more consistent than Usher, especially in the latter part of a decade. Because again, to me, Usher, like you always say, like, oh, my favorite time was this, My Way, then 8701, then Confessions. And then to me, he fell off.
Because I stand in that.
That was done. He's still standing there, huh?
Do you guys really think
He was
that
like Chris Brown versus Usher. That was when Quincy had his little, this or that, trying to do a Drink Champs imitation.
even still with happening as a recent, you guys still gonna stand on the fact that Chris Brown isn't as consistent as Usher?
I mean, recently he's been on a tear and he's been publicly seen on all the different tours.
Been on a tear always.
Yeah, like hard take or whatever. But when people make that argument of Chris Brown and Michael Jackson, now not to the universal level and stuff like that, but like as far as hits and talent, I'm like, good point. Chris Brown is up there. Yeah, Chris Brown, he's surpassed Usher in my opinion as far as like.
Especially now when Usher just did the It Depends remix, the Chris Brown's remix, and Usher's verse was cool. Yeah, I dug it.
That was nice.
But it's on a Chris Brown track. And Chris is still Chris. I don't know, man. I
know what's crazy? I still stand by my point, which I shared on the time in that podcast, was I just never heard a consistent Chris Brown album.
Now, you know what? Listen,
I don't have a classic of Chris's. I have classic songs from Chris's.
I agree with that. But I think... Because you're right, because even I go back and I think about it. Chris doesn't have a classic album. If I had to think
I'm an album person, more than just a shuffle Chris Brown.
I'm an album person too, but now because things are different, playlists and all that. The type of clip that Chris Brown's putting music out, it's all good for the most part. And his feature run,
I think that's debatable.
I think his feature run supersedes anything Usher's done in terms of like the feature realm. If you're gonna put albums, yes, the Usher kills everybody. Well, not everybody. It kills a lot of people. He definitely has more classic albums. He's got 3 classic albums. Chris doesn't have any. But if you were to combine all of Chris's singles and features, I think in terms of the amount of music, he takes over Usher.
That's fair.
And Usher has gone on tours and concerts and doesn't hold a candle to what Chris has done.
You think about it, if there wasn't the whole Rihanna situation, or him, Blood, Pyru, and all that stuff.
Oh, he went out of
controversies. Who is going to be in the Super Bowl? Usher or Chris Brown?
Oh, Chris for sure.
See what I mean? So yeah, like Chris.
Without that on his jacket, I think it's not even up for debate. I think Chris is the number one artist, probably.
But it was also fresh off the Vegas residency and the roller skating and stuff like that. So they wanted to bring that to this, which it translated. Now putting out an album a week later and all that stuff didn't work.
And that album was garbage. Outside of his residency, bro, what is Usher?
But that's because Usher keeps trying to reinvent himself. We like you for the A701, the Confessions, that we don't want to see the oh my god version of Usher.
You're right, but he tried to stay in that lane, so he did it to himself. He tried to go club, and it worked for a little bit. Love in This Club, and oh my god, and everything else he's done has been whack. He tried to do the trap ATL album, did not work well. Then he tried to get back to his roots, didn't really work out. It hasn't been working. I'm looking forward to the newer stuff he puts out because he's kind of been getting back to his bag a little bit. A little bit.
I didn't even like the song with, what was it, Sweetie? Where she sampled his track and then he was like, oh,
I didn't like that either.
But
I like the good joint he did with Summer Walker. And then the LMA joint he put out a few years ago. He tried, but I don't know.
All right, so next one, episode 22. In a lot of places, it seems like there's not much favorable for a guy in the aspect of getting married. It's like, what are you getting?
Yeah.
That's
this and that. And in reality, like if you look at it, in a lot of places, it seems like there's really not much favorable for a guy in the aspect of getting married. It's like, what are you getting? You got a ring, so that's gonna like lock that woman's legs down? No, not necessarily. Still step out on a marriage just like you could, ring or no ring, Okay, she changes her name to your name, perhaps, if you want to do that, or unless she's independent and does the hyphenated name thing. But like, I still don't really grasp the concept of it for the benefit of men. And so the next question would be like, oh, well, dang, Brandon, why did you get married? And the real reason, honestly, and I'll say this to the wife's face like every day, it's like,
wow,
you wanted to get married.
Actually, Brian.
I was right.
Oh,
that couldn't have been me. I was like, I wouldn't say that.
They call me a real.
You went on a tangent.
Repeat that again.
In a lot of places, it seems like there's not much favorable for a guy in an aspect of getting married. It's like, what are you getting?
Okay. I don't think I was thinking in a lot of places like in Africa, Asia, so on and so forth. Recent in a lot of scenarios or a lot of words. Like a lot of places. I don't think in a lot of places like
you went on a tangent. There's no reason for
there's not a lot of reasons, not places, but a lot of reasons for a person to get married. No, that's something
for a dude to get married.
For a dude, but
then it goes back to like, what do you mean? What are you getting out of it? As if like you're doing a favor to the woman. Like, sure, I'll get married, I guess, but there's no reason for a man to ever be married. Like,
what?
And then you said,
nah, man.
And this is where 2 seconds later you said, but to be honest, like I got married because she wanted to get married, which was like, okay.
Well, first of all, see, this is where like, I'm like, like punch in my mouth, right? Because now I'm getting Chanel, I'm not even going to try to argue it. Fact of the matter is, I got married not because she wanted to get married. That was one of the factors. She wanted to get married. In addition to that, like, you got your family pressure and, friends and things of that nature. And it felt personally, not because of those influences and stuff like that, but outside of that, for me personally, it felt like the right thing to do in the sense of like raising my family together as one unit. So having that symbolism of being married, as opposed to just being like baby mom, baby daddy with a couple of kids running around. You know what I mean? Like just that family unity, like marriage kind of helps solidify that. So those are there's different values as to why I felt the need to get married. But if I'm looking at it from like a from, I guess, what's the terminology for it? Not from like a spiritual factor or from a, personal factor, but more so from a financial standpoint or from a, success social standpoint, or like there's nothing like me telling you guys, hey guys, got married.
Your quality life standard rose or anyway? You don't feel like stress levels went down?
Whereas women, like,
stress level went down?
It seems like...
See, I'd like to revisit this conversation one day because I'm kind of on board with what he's saying and I could add to it. We're not going to do it today.
Let me ask you guys a quick follow-up. All right, so we both kind of had chit-chats with like, before you guys were even thinking about it, considering whatever. I'm not a marital counselor anyway.
Yeah.
But how much of me sharing what it was like to be married, whatever, just slightly a few years before you guys, did you guys take to heart?
I had already made up my mind.
I wasn't talking you off the ledge or anything crazy.
No. I see. There was some influence there. There was some influence like with yourself and a couple of others, but like you guys did it the right way. You know what I'm saying? Like you both clearly were in love. You both clearly were understanding that you want to spend the rest of your lives together. You actually lived, you had some girlfriends and some whatever, some like dating. So like you did it the right way. So like, yeah, no, there was definitely some influence when we spoke. And like, your words kind of sat with me and all that. That being said, I kind of see where he's coming from, that like marrying the woman was more so for them and not necessarily for myself. There's more for them to gain, especially in society too. Like the wedding is for the woman. It's not for the man. It's for them. You know what I'm saying? Like there's a lot that's more for the woman than for the man. There's a reason
that our wedding rings are basic and theirs like has a diamond on it or has to have.
There's a reason why they get an engagement ring and we do not. Why we got to spend bread for them. So I see what he's saying, and like I said, we could take it there another time because but on a realistic standpoint, because I see what he's saying. He's right. You know what I'm saying? Like in society, it looks a different way if the woman isn't married versus a dude. You know what I'm saying?
So why did you guys lean towards Quincy said that?
I didn't. I
Well, because he's said multiple times why he won't get married and why like he doesn't like to be in long-term relationships and like why.
Well, correct me if I'm wrong. I think Quincy said he will get married, but
again,
I wouldn't.
But its actions speak louder than words to me if I'm keeping it a buck. So for something what you said in terms of like why is it our marriage isn't really for the dudes, is because a lot of times he stands on like. For the males, like he's really male driven in his point. You know what I'm saying? So that's why
you're talking about actual places, and it's just like, there's really not many places like for like good women. Being like, yeah, like you go here, you go here, you go here. Like like the options aren't the greatest. So that's what I thought we were talking about. Not necessarily saying reasons, but actual places. Like you can't find like a good woman anywhere. That's what I thought.
Yeah,
fair enough.
Yeah. Again, I'm looking at it like
I think I'm just seeing it different. It's like
I know understand why you said what you said though, and I'm kind of
like we said it before. Like I think I just see things differently. That's why I'm maybe more man-driven, man-focused, just because a lot of the society right now is women-focused. I'm not saying like I'm freaking on that. Sam, whatever his name was the dude that passed, whatever.
Oh, it's Kevin Sam.
Yeah, Kevin Sam. I'm not on that level or anything like that, but I see the disconnect between
and all those things. Yeah.
Men and women. I see the difference. I'm not on that level of obnoxious or male chauvinistic aspect, but I want to put value on the men. Like you were saying earlier, I was having a conversation earlier, like with the wedding, the wedding is for the woman, and that shouldn't be the case. Like the whole saying, like happy wife, happy life, like that shouldn't be the case. That's one of the most toxic things in the world. Like saying your household won't be happy unless the woman's happy. Like,
see, that's why I said we gotta have another conversation. Because while I agree with what something he's saying, I'm kind of disagreeing with something that some of what you're saying. So we can table that for
we can do that later.
All right, episode 26. Last two.
Okay.
All right. Everything in every sport has diminished a little bit. Just the way they play the game now in basketball and MMA, it's gotten oversaturated and people only care about the money.
Oh, that was either Harold or Brian. I'm gonna go Brian.
Yeah,
I think it was Harold or Brian. I remember this conversation.
I was big a fan.
Well, I'll say this real quick
yeah.
to Don's first point. Like, I think you can say that about any sport. Like, as far as it's kind of lackluster, it's kind of lost its motivation, lost its audience. Like, you can say that about MMA. You can say that about football. You can say that about basketball. I think everything has diminished a little bit. Just the way they play the game now, the way they trade teams in basketball every year and stuff. The way that, MMA is just like you see it all the time. I used to know every freaking fighter. Now I don't even know. Like I used to wait every month used to be a pay-per-view compared to like every 2 weeks or whatever. You see it every week on. So I think it's got oversaturated and these people care about the money.
Yeah.
It was Quincy.
Okay.
What?
It was
I swear I thought it was one of you two.
That's Quincy. Yeah, that's so. I'm like, wait, it sounds like
When he mentioned the MMA part, I was like, no, I don't talk MMA really. So that's where I.
When he said
Brought up basketball,
sports in
MMA.
general, okay.
It was talking about again like how things have changed. We talk about Steph Curry. We talk about the high point scoring. We talk about the
Yeah, I
votes
remember that
changing. We talk
conversation.
about all that, right?
I just, for some reason, I thought it was one of you two because you guys are more like sports driven when it comes to that. So
Thanks. Good. Yeah.
Interesting.
Good contribution. All right, last one. You made that song. It was assisted by AI or a ghostwriter. Okay, but I'm not going to call you a genius.
almost like, shoot, I'm gonna say
People still think that like Stevie Wonder can see, like that he might be technically blind, but there's instances in which I don't know if he actually can't see. And so people are like, yeah, but if he can see still, then it's like he's just a hit maker. But if he actually is blind, now he's a genius. Like, and there's different levels to it where people respect something that took a little bit more. And I think when people say like, oh, well, you made that song, but it was assisted by AI or was assisted by a ghostwriter, it's no longer special. I could be like, it's a bop, I like it, but I'm not going to call you a genius or like that you're.
Yeah.
one of y'all two.
I'll say it's Harold too, but I'm gonna.
It was Harold.
yeah, I was gonna say like I kind of remember
It was
that.
Harold.
I kind of remember.
It was
that.
the conversation about like whether or not you prefer a ghostwriter to an AI person. If you think they both should be kind of dismissed, if you kind of discredit that as far as the output. And I had a quick opinion on it, whatever. But it's hard because so we were talking about Kanye for a little bit.
Yeah.
And it was like if we found out that some of his stuff was ghostwritten or assisted by AI, whatever, then it would be like,
Yeah.
is that unique? Is that something
A lot of his stuff is ghostwritten.
you know?
Yeah.
Can I still call him a genius?
I was finding that out. I was like, oh man, like yeah.
It was tough.
But no, that was fun. That was fun.
Yeah, it was dope, man. That was a good concept. I like that.
Yeah,
I was expecting there to be like some more controversial things, but I was like, oh yeah, definitely that's me. Can't.
It can be super obvious.
Yes.
That was dope, man.
that was cool.
Yeah.
We'll have to
So I
do that again.
do want to touch on this because it was mentioned a couple times in the text and whatever and whatnot, and it kind of goes to another or a larger subject, but
Uh-oh.
with the different posts that Quincy put over, it's like choose A, B, C, or D, and I had it in regards to the food where it's like, the Latin food, the soul food, or, so on and so forth.
Karen's food.
The Becky and all those different characters. And then Thanksgiving, like, this has to go this side, this side, this side.
Oh, and they
this
said
side.
get mac and cheese out of here.
And so, yeah, like, and that's the little small subject, but, and we'll explain in a moment, but the bigger subject that had me thinking about that is like, different things that are like, defaulted to like your blackness, or they, like, oh, man, like, let me take your black card type deal, things of that nature, right? Like, I know for a fact there's a shitload of things that I do, even in my dialect, the way I talk, like, it's like, I say something, it's like, oh, that's not really like black to say or whatever, right? Mm-hmm. So, I have had my fair share of black cards taken. I want to take a couple of y'all, some people that are like all about, like, yeah, I'm not, if I had to get rid of something Thanksgiving-wise, I'm going to get rid of mac and cheese. Let me have that black card right now. But with that said, I want to see, like, what are some things that you guys have noticed where it's like, oh, dang, like, people would take my black card for me doing this?
Well, no, like just jumping into what you had just said, because obviously it was an accusation. First, I've never been the hugest fan of mac and cheese, but I think even being more vegetarian, vegan, whatever, there are ways to make it good where you can have the crust on the top.
Sorry to interject real quick, but just for the audience and such, it was a choice of mac and cheese, dressing, not stuffing, dressing, turkey, and collard greens. Those were the options. You had
there was more than that.
There was more than that.
Yeah, there was cabbage. There was. Because I took off the cabbage and the
I got
potato salad.
Let's go through the list. I'll go through the list. But he had a couple of options, and he was.
All right, so the list:
cheese,
collard greens, turkey, mac and cheese, dinner rolls, biscuits, dressing, candy yams, potato salad, ham, or cabbage.
Yeah, 79.
Take 3 out.
Those last 3 out.
It's something you got to go. But I think what I was leading towards is this realization in which we'll take my black card is that even though people do it maybe once a year, I don't think that you need to have itis for Thanksgiving once a year just to eat so much and gorge yourself that you just pass out. To me, I'm like, really?
Yes.
Like, is that what we're doing here? Like, so again, I'm going to probably take my black card, but I don't eat like that now. So I'm going to eat something different. I'm not going to try to imitate a traditional turkey stuffing, Thanksgiving, and I want to have something different, maybe lighter.
Out of those 9 items, you're looking at, there's 3 things that are better on the list than mac, or at least 2 things better than.
I'm reverting back to 2016 whenever I used to eat that stuff, like in abundance. And even back then, we had the rice and peas, we would have the, stuffing, we would have mashed potatoes and gravy, we would have some of those things we never even had on the list. Like there was no cabbage, but there might have been greens, there might have been some yams, there might have been some pies.
We had cabbage, but I know that I don't like cabbage, so I'm not gonna.
We never had biscuits, but we had dinner rolls, and I know people's Thanksgivings are different. We never had no potato salad, but it's just it's just
not for Thanksgiving.
If I'm going back to those days, mac and cheese is never making the list.
So I took mac and cheese off because same with I never was a fan of it. And plus, I'm lactose as I got older. But I still eat cheese here and there, like on pizza and nachos and stuff. I just know the next day is stomach's gonna be hurting. But mac and cheese, I always had to have something in it. I had to have like some tomato sauce, some meat, something else. Like I was talking to my mom about it the other day before yesterday, because when I got here on Tuesday. Because she got some stuff from fries or whatever. She got some. I was like, I never ate mac and cheese before. Like, I don't know where you got it. She's like, I was like, I like, macaroni salad I can do, but mac and cheese, even when I was a kid, never been a fan of it. Never would see that on my plate. And it's funny because with the kids, because me and Don, we cook, and we know how to make stuff. So I always knew I could make it. And I used to do it for, dinner, take it over Thanksgiving, Christmas, or whatever. So I made it a few years, and everybody loved it. Like, oh, you got to make it every year. You got to make it every year. But I never once ate what I even made. I knew what's in there. I knew I can put 4 or 5 different cheeses in there. I knew I could make it creamy. I knew I could make it the way it should be. But I was like, I'm still not going to eat it. Because I don't like mac and cheese.
So to understand you guys' statement, I'm still taking black.
So to answer your question really quick, the couple things that if someone could potentially take my black card for, it would be if I'm in the car by myself, there's certain music that I play that I'm like, oh fam, if y'all heard what I was listening to, someone might say, let me get that for 48 hours. Not Miley Cyrus, but no, I'm gonna keep it a buck though. I'm gonna keep it a buck. I might get in my bag where I'm playing Gwen Stefani, you know what I'm saying? So No Doubt, and I'm singing that to the high heavens. Yeah, I'm singing. I'm literally don't stink. I'm in there going crazy. I'll be honest. Some of that Sabrina Carpenter stuff ain't too bad. I be in by myself.
Was on flex.
Yeah,
Cherry Crews level.
Yeah, Taylor. She's been introducing me to
got the windows up, right?
Sometimes. It feels good outside right now. While I'm driving, yes, but as soon as we get to the stoplight, I roll it up really quick.
Only depending on the situation in which you're listening to that, would I be like, all right, I gotta take that black card. If you're with the fellas and oh, let's put something on, and you're like, oh, I got a track, and you put it in, and then we listen to it together, and you're the one that had Yeah, that probably would take your car. But when you're with your kids or your family,
Oh no. When I'm with the kids, whatever. I'm saying when I'm with me and I'm like, I need to listen to something fire, and I put some like, something like that. Yeah, 100%. So certain music.
I can see that. Yeah.
Nah, I want to take the car away from
Aside from that, I don't really know. I mean, like, if anything, I'm a kid. I play with Pokemon cards, so sometimes. So if that reverts to like, grown black men don't do that. Cool, take it. You know what I'm saying? But I think mostly it might be just what I listen to, technically, like you said, how I speak. Like I still articulate myself, in a certain manner. Like people think I'm half white anyway. You know what I'm saying?
Well, not even like how you speak, the tone of your voice and things of that nature, but more so when you say things like, if you were to say like, gee willikers, that'd be like, all right, take my black card because I just said something like it.
I have to give it some thought, but I think aside from like music I listen to at a time, probably not much. Because I eat everything, you know what I'm saying? So
do you consider, because another thing that Quincy had posted once upon a time was the hood movies, right? And there's a lot of hood movies I ain't even seen.
Yeah,
I've never seen South Central. Like I've seen it on, but like
now if you've never seen like a pivotal
CB4, I've never seen that.
No, because those are like
I've seen CB4.
I've seen New Jack City. I've seen Juice. But there's a lot of
those are like good classics that you had to go find. But like if you told me you've never seen like
I've seen I've seen.
I might have to look at you a certain way. If you ever seen like, you know what I'm saying? Now if you say, you've seen Friday, you've seen all those movies, but if you've never seen Friday, maybe I'd have to talk to you today. As a kid, no, but as a grown man today, black man, you've never seen Friday, Black Panther.
What if you've seen it and you're like, nah? Like there's some people.
It's fun. A lot of movies are trash. Yeah, we've all seen Don't Be a Menace. I think that movie sucks. You know what I'm saying? Like I've seen CB4. CB4 sucks.
Like Paid in Full or stuff like that.
Don't Be a Menace sucks. I've seen it.
Don't Be a Menace. I stand by. It's a good movie.
Don't be South Central. Drink your juice in the hood.
It sucks, but I like it. It's a cool movie, but I think it sucks.
Alright. The point is you saw it though, but
everything on that list I saw. The only one I was like, was I think what was that,
New Jersey Drive?
Yeah.
That movie wasn't.
I've seen it, but I was like, that was the only one on the list that I was like, that was kind of weak. But for the most part, we might have to do that little bracket one
Belly
together.
Belly is trash, but I've seen it.
Belly,
it wasn't good with socks, not slides, but like sandals. Like
I wear slides only.
Okay, but if you wear sandals and socks, I'd be like, all right, I want to take
that made you 75.
Only Nike slides, fam. Only Nike slides. It's the only thing I wear.
Adidas.
Never that. Checks over stripes.
If there's if you did rowing or skiing and whatnot, but you never played basketball, you never watched basketball, you just watch, again.
Okay, because I snowboard
and things of that nature,
I snowboard, but I can't ski for nothing. I can snowboard. No, a little backgammon or a little badminton.
So
I tried pickleball recently. You know what I'm saying?
You know how to play spades?
I do know how to play spades. I can bust some spades. I haven't
played in years.
I learned late. I had to learn, so I was like, I get to reclaim a black card now.
Oh, that's fine, because every single black person out here don't know how to play spades or play
different anyway.
That's not even a thing today.
Domino's is lining it up and knocking it down.
Right? See, now that comment right there, let me get that. Oh, you mean go into like this where you can make an S? No, brother, give me that card.
Dude, my ex, we were playing dominoes. She's like, she didn't know that you're supposed to keep count. She was just like, you're just supposed to match the numbers up. And the first person, basically just matching the numbers up. I was like, really? She's like, are you serious? You're supposed to count? It's like, you didn't know that? It's like, she didn't believe me forever. I was like, I had a shorter rules. Like, you keep count. And some people don't start until they get that 10. They do this and they I was like, wow.
That's funny.
She did not know. I was like, wow. I was like, I'm just matching the numbers up. Because she bought the ones that had I said the highest number was 6. It was the highest number was 9. I was like, I don't play with that one. She's like, it's easy. I was like, well, it's easy because you don't play that right way.
Yeah.
I play, my head said okay, I can get this by putting 15. I can this and this.
By 5. 6 and 9. No.
Yeah. So I was like,
well, we got to wrap, but the last thing you that would take your black card?
Just the food, probably. Just the mac, because the 3 I picked were the 3, quote unquote black is the collard greens, the cabbage, and the mac and cheese. Or
Collard greens is bomb, but then when you put that ham hock in it, some people say that makes the difference.
Yeah.
To me, you don't need it.
I never liked collard
It's
greens.
still good.
Maybe
Wow.
like 2 years ago, I
It's
asked
good.
what
It's
made
good
it.
without it.
Vinegar, a little bit,
It
you know?
definitely adds that smoky depth to it, but it's good without it.
Yeah, look at smoke. You know?
Okay. I mean, it's still there. You're still eating it, so cool. However it's prepared, I don't care.
But that's it. Those,
Goofy.
that's the only thing I could think of.
Yeah, I mean, I can't. Not too much comes to mind now as far as different things, but for example, like one of these dudes I know that works, like he works every MLK day, even though like it's a holiday that we get off. I'm like, oh, you're gonna work today? He said, I'm working this. Like, all right, yeah. And you get that card just because it's like, no, that
The time I had matters that much.
apparently, you know, like, it's something sort of like, no, like, this was a day, like, that Juneteenth is like, all right, this is a day, let's celebrate, like, you know, but you're gonna work. And jokingly, obviously, taking the black card, but, you know, other things where, you know,
No, taking the black card. Juneteenth, what's that?
wait, what?
When someone says Juneteenth, what's that? That's when you say,
Oh, well, most definitely.
Honestly,
So
that, like,
and
most people didn't
we
know
can leave,
Juneteenth
but so
was
working
years ago.
on a black holiday is considered having your card taken away?
No, I take the card away. I joke about it, and like he justifies it by saying like, all right, you know, like yes, they fought for us, the right for us to be able to work this day.
That's kind of where I'm at. I gotta keep it a buck. He marched for what? So we can be able to be equally and be able to work if we want to as a choice, and they pay us extra for
That's
it.
the same thing when people say like, why don't you vote? It's like, oh, like they fought for the right to vote. Like, okay, for my right to vote.
Yeah,
Like,
so
I can
for my
choose-
right to work.
I can choose not to, just like I can choose not to work this day. Or so, you know, it's a different thing, but semantics and all that. But yeah, just the fact that you know, there's different things. So, you know, black cards.
The only reason why I'm on the opposite side is because everybody will assume we're not going to work because of the black holiday, right? So then people in the office are like, oh, we know he ain't going to be here because it's a black holiday. Me, I'm like, no, I'm going to show up regardless. Because now they're already looking at us like we're trying to find excuses anyway. You know what I'm saying? So the fact that we're going to utilize a black holiday to take off, nah, not me. I'm in there. I'm in that piece, and I'm gonna get that time and a half.
I would consistently like they've always had MLK Day like since I've been working and stuff like that. But prior to them actually making Juneteenth an official day, I would legit intentionally take a day off work.
But MLK, while MLK's always been around, MLK Day was never really a national holiday till as of recent. You know what I'm saying? I remember working at Wells Fargo, and we finally got it off, like maybe 4 years into me
the last
working.
one to put it in.
Yeah, so it's like, while it was a national holiday, it really wasn't a nationally federal holiday. It was still like you have the choice to celebrate it or not.
I was just fortunate then that jobs I did work, they did have that day off.
Yeah.
They didn't have Juneteenth off, but they did have MLK. So I never had to take MLK off. But
Day off usually implies that you have a career.
Not
you have some sort of salary, which means you get paid to not be there.
True.
So that, I mean, in my sense of it, I'm going to take the day off because I know a lot of white people are not going to believe in reparations. So they think like, oh, this is something we're going to give you. And it's like, all right, well, if that's what you're going to give me, I'm going to take it.
Fair.
well, that, but then like
Fair with
yeah,
reason.
maybe-
So then I feel like it's almost like, okay, here, take these crumbs. Leave it down. Like,
Maybe that you're the person now, like, everybody's taking it off. Now I get kind of annoyed. It's like, yo, like, you're going to get
That's how it's going to be. They ain't going to give us something for nothing. It's going to have to be.
yeah, I guess.
All right, we'll wrap it there. But